Like, imagine if this just happened to you and you don't know anything about the true creator. I would have gone like, what the fuck do you mean I should see a psychiatrist? Are you calling me crazy for gambling on a loot box? Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Art and Recap. I'm your artist Faye, and today we are reading chapter 251 till 255 of Lord of the Mysteries. In the previous chapter, Klein survived Rosago's attack and dragged his spirit into the Grey Fog world to divine the potion formulas for the Seer pathway, because he can't do it in the real world due to Rosago being contaminated by the true creator. In the divination, Klein saw Rosago listening to a mysterious voice, warning him about being too reliant on divination. The voice said that divination is a revelation and isn't all too powerful. That rhymes. I should start a rap career. Divination is a revelation. Oh my god. It's very similar to the warnings that Klein reads about in Rosal's diary pages that Saratul offhandedly mentions. The mysterious voice warns Rosago that divinations can be interfered with, thus causing the diviner to be misled. This is the case between Klein and Rosago. Klein couldn't foretell the danger of Rosago in the real world, and Rosago couldn't divine the danger that the language of foulness posed towards him because the charm was made in the Grey Fog world. Klein thinks that he can't be careless like Rosago, and that based on the conversation he's overhearing, that they aren't aware of the acting method. Then he sees the potion for Magician, the sequence 7 that Klein is going to be soon, I guess. Klein thinks that Magician is very much part of the circus again and remembered the suited clown he met at Tingen that almost had him killed. The abilities he had was very similar to that of a magician, and he recalled that the guy was able to fire air bullets too. And you guys, you know what? I remember one of you guys told me in the comment section when I was reacting to the Donghua that the way the Donghua did things was a little messed up. It like combined a lot of sequence powers into one, and that Klein couldn't, progress like that in the future. It's going to be so weird. And I understand what you guys mean by now, because Klein, he has a very set way on how he gained the powers. So once he gets the magician potion, how is he going to level up in the Donghua, right? So that is a really good question. Anyway, and then Klein finds out that the sequence 6 potion, which is called Faceless, Klein wonders if this is the potion that allowed Rosago to transform into Vaccine. And Klein also thinks that the Creeping Hunger has very similar properties to it. And you know what? Klein, stop theorizing about all of this. You're taking away my job. One of the faceless ingredients that surprised Klein is called Thousand-Faced Hunter. And he thinks that it might be some type of dragon and that it's extremely rare and almost extinct. And you know what? I'm gonna theorize that he'll probably get this ingredient from Derek. And then Klein saw another scene, and this time the mysterious person told Rosago that the advancement isn't as simple as drinking a potion anymore. Now they have to actually drink a potion and also do a ritual at the same time. To become a sequence 5 marionettist, they have to go to the sea and find a mermaid and drink the potion while they're singing. This is actually very interesting to me, because if cuttlefish follows the lore of mermaids luring men to the sea with their singing, it's like they're doing a test to not become a puppet. You know what I mean? Like, they have to struggle and get out of the mermaid's control to drink the potion, and I'm gonna guess that Klein is going to be doing something like that in the future, right? One of the supplementary ingredients for the potion is spring water from Sonia's Island's Golden Spring, and I've been seeing that island thrown around a lot, so I'm guessing that Klein will have to travel there at some point to get the potion ingredient. After hearing that, Klein was yeeted away from the Grey Fog world because he ran out of spiritual energy. After all, he just fought Rosago and used the language of foulness, and also used some Requiem charms to put the bodyguard to sleep, and also Rosago's corpse. Klein is absolutely exhausted. Klein looked out the window and saw the bodyguard in the mirror, wide awake, and she was staring at Klein. He explained that when he shot Rosago, his body was still squirming and he was scared that he'd come back from the dead, so he used all the charms that he has on him in a panic, and that it might have affected her too. He's acting like an innocent newbie who can't do no harm right now, and I can't help but imagine him looking at her with his big puppy eyes from the donghua, and it really helps that he has such an innocent looking face too. Like, come on, in the donghua, he is so innocent. Like, he has such doe eyes in donghua. How can you doubt a face like his in the donghua? I don't know here, but he does get described a lot as someone with a scholarly look to him. So yeah, I guess he can get away with looking innocent. Anyway, Miss Bodyguard asked him what charm he used at the beginning, and Klein explained that he bought it from the 400 pounds. Like, it came from the 400 pounds loot box that he bought from the Beyonder gathering. And she looked at him quietly before saying that he should go see a psychiatrist. And oh my god, if Klein didn't know what she was implying, that he might become a lunatic because of the ear and the connection to the true creator, I would have felt insulted, but also find it absolutely hilarious. Like, imagine if this just happened to you and you don't know anything about the true creator. I would have gone like, what the fuck do you mean I should see a psychiatrist? Are you calling me crazy for gambling on a loot box? Klein then tells her that they should hurry and clean up the crime scene in case MI9 come and stop by. He rummaged through Rosago's corpse, with gloves on by the way, he's a professional detective after all, and he found more than 10 pounds in cash, essential oils, herbal powder, 2 cut paper figurines, and a strange piece of paper. That piece of paper had the symbols of the sun, and Klein found it odd and asked Miss Bodyguard what it was. She told him that it's an object corresponding to a notary, and Klein was like, huh? Until he remembered that Rosago is from the Intis Republic and the people there believe in the eternal blazing sun god, and said god is also considered as the god of deeds, hence why Rosago has a legal document with him, I guess. Miss Bodyguard said that if the papers are valid, then the Beyonder will get a temporary buff, and if it's not valid, then their powers will be dispersed. Klein was about to say something, but Rosago's corpse started glowing and transformed into a black pupilless eye, aka he dropped some loot. Klein acts clueless again and asks what it is, but Miss Bodyguard just said that it's something worthless. Klein understands that to her, it's absolutely worthless because Rosago has been contaminated by the true creator. But to Klein, it's still worth something because he's going to try and figure out how to remove the contamination in the Grey Fog world so that he can use the Beyonder characteristics for himself, I guess. Klein asked Miss Bodyguard to pick something from Rosago's corpse since it's their spoils of war. She picked the notary and Klein agreed and gave it to her willingly before picking up the eye and putting it in an iron cigar case. He felt really damn awful as soon as he touched that evil eye, and he heard whispers in his head and saw threads sprouting around not only his bodyguard but his own body too. Klein said that it was a scene that would horrify people with trypophobia, and ugh, I do not want to see that in the donghua at all. If you didn't know what trypophobia is, it's a phobia for small holes that are clustered together, and I don't know why, but I have that massive fear. I can't look at anything that are like that for too long before I get uncomfortable and I have to turn away. It disgusts me for some reason. Anyway, Klein puts the eye away and wonders if the threads that he saw was the essence of a marionettist's beyond their power and if they can control people through it. He thinks it's a pity that he can't fully use the mystical item, but he's not gonna try and purify it for now because he already provoked the true creator twice and he's probably waiting for Klein to do some BS again so that he can smite him. After taking Rosago's cash with him, because of course he did, Klein was wondering if how the fuck he should get rid of the body when Miss Bodyguard told him that she'll do it and then she fused her spirit with the corpse. All the blood and guts that were spilled flowed back in the body and fixed itself like shattered glass, and Klein was like, well, this isn't fucking scary at all, because the corpse stood up and picked up the police cap to cover half of the head and then left. Klein asks Miss Bodyguard if she can stop by the real vaccine's place to check if the guy was still alive, because Rosago was wearing his clothes and he thinks that the power of a faceless is limited only to himself and doesn't turn him into a fashion designer, because where the fuck else could Rosago have gotten those clothes from if not from the real vaccine? We find out that the battle lasted no more than a minute and it hadn't even been crazy enough to destroy anything. It's still the most dangerous battle Klein faced, aside from fighting Migo's demon spawn. And man, no wonder Rosago is the fandom's joke if it's even stated in the text that he didn't even last more than a minute. I want to make a joke here, but I don't know if I should. Should I? Should I say it? Let's just say it. The man is like a one-pump chump, okay? Okay, I said it. Klein thinks about how a marionettist is truly OP and that according to the law of beyond their characteristics conversation, should Rosago become an ingredient for the potion, the person who drank it could instantly jump up into becoming a sequence 5 beyonder. So Klein thinks that this method is far too dangerous and luck dependent and thinks doing it step by step is still the best. By other way, he needs to get rid of the corruption from the true creator first before he can even entertain the thought of using Rosago's beyonder characteristics as a supplementary ingredient. Anyway, Klein flipped the coin to find out if Bakerland is dead and got a positive result, and he can finally breathe a sigh of relief. Inside the Indies Republic's embassy, 2 military officials were looking at Bakerland's corpse and examining the cause of his death. There's severe lung damage and obvious marks on the floor that indicates some blood magic was involved. The two instantly put 2 and 2 together and figured out that it was the mark of a shepherd, but they can't really rule out that a group of at least 4 Beyonders killed Bakerland instead. I personally think that if I was looking at this corpse with them and trying to theorize about what happened, I would have told them, don't you guys think that 4 high sequence Beyonders ganging up on this one guy is a little bit overkill? Because again, he's just one guy. He's not even like a demigod. He's just Bakerland. One of them mentioned that he also suspects that a scribe was involved too, and I think that's the name of the Beyonder pathway that dropped the book Mr. A was using in the previous chapter, but a shepherd is still their prime suspect since the Aurora Order pretty much left a calling card that said they were there. Miss Bodyguard returned to Klein, who was pretending like nothing happened. Klein tells her that she's dismissed now cause he doesn't need her protection anymore, but that he'll still pay her the full price of her service in 2 days cause there's a withdrawal limit. He can't withdraw all the 900 pounds that he owes her. Miss Bodyguard said that she'll continue her duty to watch over him, and Klein agrees cause it's not really gonna affect the Tarot Club meeting. He didn't ask for her name and she's like, you don't need to know. And you know what? My first thought was, is this Dali moonlighting? Cause she's in need of a huge amount of money to progress without the church knowing. Is this it? Is it possible? Could Miss Bodyguard actually be Dali? Klein wonders what sequence pathway Miss Bodyguard belongs to and thinks that her state is very unique cause she's pretty much a ghost, but Klein doesn't think she's dead. Klein collapsed on his bed and thought about his life so far, like the coincidences that lined up in Tingen to him getting 3 potion formulas in Backland. He wonders if it's got anything to do with the divination he's done before he left Tingen, cause he did divine if he can become powerful in Backland and he got a positive answer. He just never expected for that opportunity to arrive so quickly. At first, he was planning to gather info about the secret order through the Tarot Club members. But now that he's got the formulas, he doesn't really need to have that information anymore, right? So he's still planning to keep a close eye on that order. He thinks that it's not possible that someone's messing with his fate again just like in Setsangwil, or could it be destined by fate after all? But he thinks that doesn't feel right. He thinks that the moment he chose the seer pathway was the moment he sealed his fate because he got involved with the Antigonus family. He keeps attracting things that are related to the seer pathway. He wonders if there's something strange or special about him, and that's what made him have the ability to resurrect himself. And I don't know about you, Klein, but the fact that you're a transmigrator is also already special enough. But anyway, there's no obvious signs of manipulations, and it's not like he can change beyond their pathways until he's at least at sequence 4. Also, he remembers that he should probably stop by the Hornacis mountain range to find the Antigonus family's treasure at some point, but he'll procrastinate on that. First, he gotta be powerful and beat Insitsango's ass, and also find Lanibus, that damn scammer. The next day, Miss Bodyguard told him that someone from MI9 stopped by to check on him while he was sleeping. Klein asked her if they found anything, but she said no and then vanished from his mirror. Klein wondered if he can detect her if he used Rosago's eye, cause spirit vision is useless on her. When he tried it out though, he felt a bone-piercing chill rush at his neck. It was a warning from her not to do that shit again. Anyway, Klein went to read the news and saw the headline that the ambassador is dead and that the Aurora Order is the one responsible for it. He thinks that the Order leaving their calling card there was probably a way to prove to Audrey that her mission was fulfilled. Klein finishes his breakfast and then looks out the window, thinking that it's such a wonderful day to catch some adulterers. But before we do that, we actually switch point of views towards Audrey. Audrey was having breakfast with her father and brother and found out about the news about the Aurora Order killing Bakerland during breakfast, right? She tried to probe and get more information from her father, but he refused to speak about something so awful in front of her. But it didn't really matter so much to Audrey. All she needed to know was that Bakerland is dead and she owes Mr. A the rest of his money because he didn't scam her. She decides to give Mr. A the remaining funds in the coming days through Shio and Force, and she's gonna lay low for a while and won't attend Mr. A's gathering. This makes me wonder if Audrey and Klein will cross paths at some point in the future, and I'm really looking forward to that. She's also very proud of the fact that she one-upped Algar and finished the mission before he could even so much as snoop around. So she was in a very good mood as she ate her dessert. Meanwhile, Shio and Force were looking at the newspaper in shock at the news. They're like, oh shit, Mr. A is part of the Aurora Order, isn't he? Either way, the two of them are very happy because they both got 500 pounds from Audrey. Force told Shio that she'll hand over the 8k to Mr. A herself since she has the skill to travel through walls, so if something bad happened, she can make a quick escape. Shio didn't agree to it at first, but after Force explained herself, she had to capitulate. Mr. A, on the other hand, was busy praising the statue of a man hanging upside down when he was interrupted by one of his lackeys. They said that they've sent the news and also wondered why Mr. A didn't ask them to investigate who wanted Bakerland dead. Mr. A honestly didn't seem to care about that as he coughed out blood that splattered on the ground, and the lackey looked away as the dude licked all the blood he coughed up back into his mouth, and ugh, that's just gross. Bruh is truly a lunatic, also very unhygienic. Ew. On the other hand, we're finally back into Klein's POV and we can watch him do his job as a detective. He's tailing the Ragu's mistress, Erika, this time around. She went into Quelag Club after dolling herself up and Klein followed her while carrying a suitcase filled with disguises and the portable camera that he borrowed. He asked a maid for a room that he can rest in and was led to an attendant who asked him if he wanted a room that overlooked the streets or the tennis court. Klein said that he'll take the one that overlooked the streets because he saw Erika enter a room that faced the streets. The room he got was 2 rooms away from Erika, and you know what? I think the attendants are definitely in on this whole affair. They know that it's about to get loud in that room and deliberately put Klein in a different one that's farther away from it lest he seek them out again to complain about the couple. And I also think that those two aren't the only ones using the club to have an affair, to be honest. Like, if I were a maid working at Quelag Club, I'd collect so much evidence that I can use for blackmail. Anyway, Klein wonders how he can get the evidence of the affair with the huge freaking camera with the crazy flash when he caught a glimpse of Miss Bodyguard in one of the mirrors. He asked her if she has a way to hide the flash of the camera and was low-key surprised when she answered yes. She fused with the camera lens and Klein took a picture and was glad that the flash became minimal. Erika left the room she's in to greet Doragu, and Klein used the time to enter the room and hide in a cupboard and waited until the two went at it with each other. Klein activated his spirit vision and listened to the conversation the two were having. Doragu said he has a present for Erika, and I'm like, bitch, do you even give presents to your wife? Erica thought that he was gifting her some face creams, but it turns out to be some silk stockings, which are hella expensive by the way since they're made of actual silk because they're not mass producing them like they do in the modern world. Dorago said that one pair of stockings cost 30 solis and he got her 5 pairs, and Klein is like, holy shit, that's expensive. Klein thinks of how Benson earned 1 pound and 10 soli a week, which is 30 soli, and was able to provide not only for himself but for his brother and sister too. He was able to feed them and send them to have a higher education and also provide for them to have a place to sleep. Anyway, the two start flirting and Klein was like, I feel like I'm watching a porno again. And my first reaction when I read it was, oh my god, someone save Klein. Especially since Miss Bodyguard is also there and waiting to help Klein cover the flash of the camera. Once the two got entangled, Klein took several pictures so his client can choose which one she wants to give to her lawyer. Klein sneakily rolled out of the cupboard and out the door until he reached the lounge's door. And you know what? I do wonder how the Donghua is going to proceed with this scene, or this whole plot point actually, or if they're just like going to gloss over it and even take it off completely. That's also a possibility. He returned to his room and was about to put away the camera when Miss Bodyguard's arm reached out and she slowly got out of the camera. Klein awkwardly asked her if she wanted to go to the cafeteria to eat something and she's like, nah, I'm good. And then she disappeared. Klein went to the bathroom to relieve himself and looked at the mirror after washing his hands. I'm so glad that Klein washes his hands, guys. Like, Cuttlefish just puts these random details in there. I'm just like, thank God he washes his hands after taking a shit. He notes that he has some stubble now because he hadn't shaved in the morning and that he wants to grow a beard to a certain extent so he won't have to be so careful around people recognizing him as Klein Moretti. And you know what? I don't think he needs a beard at all. Like, to be honest, he can also just wear glasses and get a new haircut. Buy a bit of makeup and do some contouring and suddenly he'd look like a completely different person. No magic involved. It's funny because there's this soundbite about this woman saying, if men found out we can shapeshift, they're going to tell the church. And I can't help but imagine Klein doing that, like, shapeshifting with the power of contouring, and someone randomly telling people at the church like, hey, I think that guy is actually a faceless, but it's actually just makeup. It's the power of makeup. Anyway, he goes on to take his food and sees one of the guys who gave him the recommendation letter, not recommendation letter, that gave him the recommendation to get into the Quella Club eating alone and reading the newspaper. Klein greets him and they have a chat about what's hot on the news right now, which is Bakerland's assassination. Nothing really much happened in this chapter aside from Klein going to the bank to withdraw some money to pay Miss Bodyguard and then going to Braveheart's bar. Anyways, that is it with this video's recap. Now to talk about a little bit about the artwork. Anyways, the artwork in this video is basically me working on some promo scenes, promo video for social media for my webcomic Dreaming of Aurora. I am animating a little bit of stuff here and there. Honestly, I wasn't planning to animate it like this, like at all, but I was like, you know what? It actually looks really so much better like this, so let's just continue it. And I was like, okay, fine, only for this couple of scenes. So yeah, you guys see me animating some stuff here. Not very good, but it's doable, it's passable for social media anyway. Yeah, that's pretty much it. What do you guys think of this episode. Before I go, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. It helps my channel out a lot. My commissions are open and my Vision link is down in the description below. Check out my webcomic, Dreaming of Aurora, if you have the time. And finally, thanks to my patrons, Robek, Vanarik, and Jay Volchevelitska for the support. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!